sad.
Well, I thought so.
Well, that's sad.
And it's not that you just decided that you wanted to die and you wanted to get it over and done with, that you changed your story.
No. The reason is, it's serious. There is no way, nobody should get into that execution chamber dying on a hope for a lie, or even by a second make it out of this thing on a lie.
But I heard, that you just couldn't stand being on death row after 12 years.
Nick, and this is the last time I'm gonna say it. You have to kill Aileen Wuornos, because she will kill again.
Det finns någon slags punkt som jag nu inte har med här som måste också finnas med. Vad ska jag skriva? Berättelser? Jag sa innan att den har en del av det. Det betyder att då... Eller vad händer om du inte gör det? Alltså, om allting är lika viktigt. Det är samma sak. Det är en mångfald. Där då blir man allt i punkter. Jag såg den bollen, jag snubblade på den stenen. Och sen skulle jag bara säga frågorna. Jag ska bara en tankeficka. Frågorna som ställs. Alltså där tycker jag i den blicken, det är en detalj mot en blick. Hon vill veta, den här människan har precis blivit avrättad. Did she talk about that? Och Nick ställer, how are you gonna be at 9:30 tomorrow morning? Man vill sätta ord på det för att slippa det. Ja, här tänker jag att, för det är någonting, det vill jag också skriva till exempel dimman i Köpenhamn. Om man väljer att det starkaste minnet var dimman vid toaletten till föreställningen, så har det jättemycket med sanningen att göra. För sanningen kommer där man inte tittade. Men den var den hade ingenting med sanningen.
Jag tänker på när vi var i Köpenhamn. När vi var på och tittade ut över den här dimmiga kajen. När vi var och tittade på Monster.
Det finns ingen musik.
Och det var det här man stora glasfönstren ut mot den här dimmiga kajen, och det var sånt speciellt ljus. Det är liksom bara så konstigt egentligen, men det
är ansiktet som finns. Jag skulle vilja liksom för att det ansiktet är verkligen.
Jag tror det kommer ut från toaletten. Och jag ser det i det här ljuset mot den här bakgrunden.
Jag vet inte.
Egentligen bara en detalj, men det är som märkligt minne.
De har inte bestämt sig om de är en partikel eller något förrän man tittar. Att vara olika saker samtidigt.
Alltså en form. Jag lekte, alltså som har den dokumentära form, att jag bara berättar ett minne om det. Den är bakgrundsmusiken. Hur ljuset bara är på natten och i våra drömmar som vi har. Alltså det faktiskt faller genom lagren och vandrar, ser oss själva bara i tid och rum. Och det är som någon som säger det.
Det där tänker jag, det tänker på det här med tyckande.
Det är så märkligt att vi gör det. Och nu är jag här. Och här var jag det. Att jag gick ut genom den dörren där och hamnade.
Det är någonting också med så här. Det här med did she talk about that? Alltså vi har också en vi vill höra om som både äcklar oss men också skänker oss någon typ av konstig ljud.
Men står där bak.
Sitter det försiggår ju en extremt stor konstruktion av henne. Alltså. Istället för att öppna sig för världen så ska man konsumera världen istället. Så.
Vad var det för datum igår?
Det är också
to death for the Charles Davis, case number 91-112, Citrus County case number. I sentence you to death for the murder of David Spears.
At her trial, Lee Warnock was medically described as damaged and primitive child. He sees the world as a place, full of evil spirits and ghosts. At her trial, Lee Warnock was medically described as damaged and primitive child. He sees the world as a place, full of evil spirits and ghosts. He is described as having uncontrollable rages and temper tantrum. And being too immature to properly grasp the finality of death. At her trial, Lee Warnock was medically described as damaged and primitive child. He sees the world with grace, full of evil spirits and ghosts. At her trial, Lee Warnock was medically described as damaged and primitive child. He sees the world with grace, full of evil spirits and ghosts. Being too mature to properly grasp the finality of death. At her trial, Lee Warnock was medically described as damaged and primitive child. He sees the world with grace, full of evil spirits and ghosts. Being too mature to properly grasp the finality of death. Being too mature to properly grasp the finality of death. Being too mature to properly grasp the finality of death.
Jag håller med om att Oprah och Jerry Springer är mycket bättre än Geraldo egentligen. Okej, så han sa åt mig, look into the camera and act like you're talking to the 7 dead men. What would you like to say to them? Och jag bara, okay. I'm sorry that you were so psychologically, sexually fucked up, defunct, deranged, bla bla, bla bla. Sen höll jag upp armen så här och visade hur stark jag är. Han bara, strong? What do you mean strong? Look at your skinny ass. Och jag bara tittade på honom och sa, I mean mentally. Jävla idiot. Okej Dan, men sen tyckte du det var shit sjukt att sitta framför hela den publiken, visst? Men det var ganska kul ändå. Ja, jag tycker Geraldo är söt, men han är inte så snygg som de säger. Shit, vad snygg du var där då. Inte alls någon tomboy längre ju. Det har verkligen lyckats göra dig till en riktig kvinna. Jag märkte till och med att din röst hade förändrats. Inte alls så som jag minns det från när vi var små. Mer som, oh la la, real hunk of woman there. Yeah, Leslie, don't try that shit on me. Ta det lugnt, ta det lugnt, ta det lugnt. Det är sagt att det inte är sexet som är grejen, det är vänskapen. Om jag någonsin kommer ut härifrån igen ska jag vara singel resten av livet. Jag blir alldeles för kär och hamnar i problem. Kärlek kan verkligen få en att göra strange things man aldrig trodde man kunde. Okej Dan, ha det bra! Love you! Yeehaw! Weehoo! Ribba, 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 ribba.
Aileen grew into a beautiful little girl with blonde hair and lively brown eyes. But her angelic looks could not mask a roiling anger.
She suffered from explosive temper tantrums that came out of nowhere, and she would just blow up with no provocation.
Eileen's closest companion was her brother Keith.
They had a very important bond.
But underneath was a much stranger dynamic. By the time Aileen was 10, the two children began to experiment sexually with each other.
She did have sex with Keith. Apparently it was consensual, and this did happen on several occasions, and yes, one of the neighborhood boys witnessed it.
Eileen's attention soon moved on to other boys. By the time Aileen was 11 years old, she was having sex with boys in exchange for loose change or cigarettes.
That sex, which wasn't such a big deal to her, could earn her money. Then she quickly turned it into a little business. She used the money to buy drugs and beer, to try to buy friends.
In 1970, at the age of 14, Aileen became pregnant She would later claim that an older man from the neighborhood had raped her. Aileen's grandparents sent her to a home for unwed mothers to have the child, who was immediately put up for adoption.
So at 15, she hit the road and earned her living prostituting.
Wuornos would spend the next 2 decades trying to find a place to call home, even as her life spiraled more and more out of control.
She was really just wandering, drifting aimlessly from staying with one person to staying with another, kind of hippie life, if you will.
There, she traded on her looks in the dangerous world of prostitution.
In her mind, that was the best she could do. That's what she was good at. That's what she could earn a living at. That was all she could earn a living at.
She didn't wear the leather skirts and the mini skirts and the stiletto heels. She wore shorts and t-shirts.
Jag har sett färdas Tyrea i en miniskirt en gång. Fy fan, det ser för jävligt ut. Du skulle dö. Patetiskt. Ja, jag älskar henne, men helvete, hon är ful i klänning. En gång tvingade jag henne att raka benen. När vi träffades så frågade jag henne varför hennes ben var helt håriga som en jävla snubbes. Och hon bara, honey, 'cause I'm a lesbian. Alltså jag tycker om man nu måste vara gay så kan man i alla fall se ut som en kvinna.
But she was not able to curtail those outbursts and to behave like a normal person.
Aileen drowned her sorrows in alcohol and went right back to her vagabond lifestyle. She worked the exit ramps up and down the Florida highways, taking on customers wherever she could. In 1978, at the age of 22, Aileen decided she couldn't take any more of her hard-scrabble existence. One afternoon, she took a .22 caliber pistol and shot herself in the abdomen.
Went into a little mini-mart, clutching her gun and wearing a bikini, if you can believe it, and
she spent her time reading the Bible, complaining about being shut in with lesbian inmates, and waiting to get back together with her boyfriend. Desperate for a connection, she turned to women and quickly found acceptance.
Aileen met Tyra Moore, who was to be the most important romantic relationship in her entire life, in a biker bar. She went for an entire weekend and didn't emerge really, except for to grab some food. That was the anchor Aileen had been looking for.
But her anger was always just below the surface. Despite Aileen's temper, Ty stayed with her. Aileen called her wife and seemed happy to be providing for her, creating their own kind of home. At 33, Aileen Wuornos had finally found the companionship she'd always craved, and she would do whatever it took to keep it from slipping away. The wear and tear of her lifestyle was beginning to show on the 33-year-old.
To say that the bloom was off the rose would be an understatement. Her looks had taken a beating. She did not have the natural tools with which to bring in the clients. She really felt under threat, big time, that Tyra might leave her and that she would be all on her own again. And she couldn't allow that to happen.
Tyra never went to the police to report her lover's confession and stayed by Wuornos' side.
Bills of money and wave them at Tyra and say, look, now I can pay the rent. Look, now we can party. Everything's going to be all right.
At that point, Tyra fled the state, heading north to Pennsylvania to stay with her sister, and leaving Aileen to fend for herself.
Aileen was on her own, desolate. She didn't know the game was up, but she was out of steam, she was out of money, she was out of energy, she was out of strength, she was heartbroken because Tyra had left her.
On January 9th, 1991, at this Port Orange bar, aptly named The Last Resort, Aileen Wuornos was finally arrested. She would soon find herself caught between wanting to fight her case and needing to protect the woman she loved. Their first call came on January 14th.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, Ty, what are you doing?
Nothing. What the hell are you doing?
Nothing, I'm sitting here in jail.
Yeah, then what the hell are you doing?
Nothing, I'm sitting here in jail.
Yeah, it's what I heard. There's been officials up at my parents' house asking some questions.
Uh-oh.
And I'm getting scared.
See, I think what happened is there was a picture in the newspaper, and is there anybody there?
No, just me.
What?
What?
Is there anybody in your room? Hi, hello? Ty?
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
Hey, Ty?
Hey.
Hey, I meant to call you earlier, but I didn't know if you were going to be in, or what?
I don't... What the hell is going on with me? They've called. They've been up to my parents again. They've got my sister now asking her questions. I don't know what the hell's going on.
What are they asking your sister questions for?
I don't know. Lee, they're coming after me. I know they are.
No, they're not. Honey, you're innocent.
They've got to. Why are they asking so many questions then?
Ty, do what you gotta do, okay? Honey? Ty?
I'm gonna have to because I don't want you to go to jail for something that you did. This isn't fair. My family is a nervous wreck up there. My mom has been calling me all the time.
Ty,
She doesn't know what the hell's
Ty,
going on.
listen. Ty, do what you gotta do, okay, honey? I'm not gonna let you go to jail.
What?
I'm not gonna let you go to jail, okay? Right?
I don't know whether I should keep on living or if I should...
No, Tyra.
What if they don't believe me?
Do what you... If I have to confess, I will.
For more than 3 hours, Aileen sat in a jailhouse confession room, talking to investigators, smoking, laughing, crying, spilling her story to protect her lover.
It was a rambling. She really was doing her best acting job. She tried to appear to be a sweet, innocent lady from time to time, and other times she would lapse back into a pretty tough woman. Her actions, coupled with her words, just made her unbelievable.